Disneyland is really one of my favorite places to wander. And being a SoCal local, equipped with an annual pass, I can do it as often as my schedule allows. In a time far, far away, I spent 7 years doing more than wandering there, though. I explored the jungles of the world, awoke tropical birds, mined Big Thunder, told some DuckTales, and entertained at a private club. So I consider myself more than just the average Disney fan. It's the detail and history of the place that keeps me returning, often to just walk around and never even step foot on an attraction. Disneyland is the attraction to me and to so many thousands of other people out there. Although there are literally hundreds and perhaps thousands, or gosh, you could probably even say millions of details to showcase, here are my top 10 tidbits that will hopefully enhance your adventure the next time you head to the Magic Kingdom. First up, the light at Walt's apartment. If you look at the firehouse on Main Street, which is over to the left-hand side as you walk in, there's a little light in the window up there. And that area was actually built as Walt's apartment. When he was not at the studio, when the construction was going on at Disneyland, he had an apartment built there. So he could spend time there and not spend all of his time traveling back and forth. When he was in the park, the lamp would be on. I would have the opportunity to actually tour that apartment a couple of times. I'm going to tell you, the dude was ahead of his time. A little feature inside that apartment that is now pretty standard in many homes that are built today is that shower stall in there has multiple shower heads. So when I went through there, because it was many years ago when I went through there, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And like I said, now kind of more common thing. So when you walk into Disneyland, look over there and you'll see that the light is now permanently on, just as a homage to Walt Disney that he's still on property. Number 2, the windows of Main Street. You might not have known this. This is something that most people probably have seen or kind of wondered about. As you walk down Main Street, there are names all throughout Main Street, and actually in other areas of the park as well. And these names and windows honor people who have made a significant impact on Disneyland and the Walt Disney Company. Like, for example, Mary Blair, whose creativity and color inspired much of It's a Small World, has a window on Main Street. The Sherman Brothers, who remind us that there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. They also scored memorable soundtracks like Mary Poppins and Jungle Book. Speaking of the Sherman Brothers, they also scored It's a Small World, which, completely gets in your head. You can't get it out. They have a window there on Main Street as well. So it is a big deal when you get your window there. And they have ceremonies occasionally when they put up a new window on Main Street. So look at the windows of Main Street. Number 3, the red and white light at Coke Corner. Okay, this is one of my favorite workarounds ever. The red and white lights that ring the entry of the Coke Corner building at first glance look to be perfectly placed, but upon closer examination, you'll find that the number of lights don't quite even out. So ingeniously, they solved this little problem by painting one of the bulbs red on one side and white on the other, so that the pattern appears seamless. Okay, to me, most brilliant solution in the world. Number 4, the little man of Disneyland, Patrick Begura, is a leprechaun, also known as the Little Man of Disneyland, who lives in a tiny little house at the root of a tree in Adventureland. His story was first told in one of the Disney's Little Golden Books, which was published in 1955, the inaugural year of Disneyland. You can find this little hidden gem kind of between the Indiana Jones Adventure attraction and Tarzan's Treehouse. Number 5. Speaking of Tarzan's Treehouse, Disney Imagineers are known to add a number of little Easter eggs in each of their designs. As an homage to the Robinson family, when they were given the boot from the treehouse and it was taken over by Tarzan, the Imagineers left an audio reminder of the old attraction. As you near the end of the walkthrough, you'll hear the melodic sounds of the Swiska polka playing in the background in the camp. Great homage to the original Robinson Treehouse. Number 6, Max, Buff, and Melvin. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh in Critter Country used to be the home of the Country Bear Jamboree. It was a classic audio animatronic show starring a band of bears, some critters, and 3 unique co-hosts, Max, Buff, and Melvin. They were a moose, a buffalo, and a deer, respectively. Once again, Disney Imagineers have left a little homage in the new attraction of the old. As you exit the psychedelic world of the Heffalumps and Woozles, quickly look up and back. And there on the wall, you'll find these 3 characters who look to be waiting for their cue to start the next show all over again. It's one of my favorite Easter eggs at Disneyland. Number 7, the Frontierland Fish. As you exit Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, take a right and head up Big Thunder Trail like you're going over to Fantasyland or what will soon be Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars, and you'll see a small little bridge. Take a moment or two and enjoy the serenity of the pond that's opposite of the attraction. If the conditions are right, you stay there a few minutes, you might get lucky enough to catch a glimpse of a few jumping fish, which is a super cool detail. Number 8, Snow White's Grotto. If you need a little break from the crowds, There's a peaceful gym hiding right in plain sight. Follow the path on the east side of Sleeping Beauty's castle, and you'll find a charming little grotto and a wishing well that showcases Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There's a number of stories about how they originated, however. The popular theory is that they were anonymously donated. Walt loved these little statues and wanted to make sure they were prominently featured in the park, so he made place for them right next to the castle. A few times an hour, the area becomes really magical. Snow White serenades. There's an echo of her voice in the wishing well, and the fountain kind of comes alive. It's an awesome little place to stop, and it's a place that we go every single time we go there. Kind of just makes us feel like we're at Disneyland. Number 9, It's a Small World. And although Walt was best known for his creative genius, while his brother Roy handled the business side of things, he was also a masterful marketing and money man. He eyed the 1964 and 65 World's Fair in New York as an opportunity to increase exposure to Disneyland to the people on the East Coast, as well as obtaining financial support for the creation and development of several attractions that would eventually be brought back to Disneyland. And It's a Small World was the centerpiece of the UNICEF Pavilion, sponsored by Pepsi Cola. A short time later, in May of 1966, the happiest cruise that ever sailed the seven seas made its West Coast premiere in Fantasyland, and Pepsi sprung most of the bill for that attraction. Way to go, Walt. Number 10 on the list is alfresco dining in Tomorrowland. To symbolize the world of the future during the 1998 redo of Tomorrowland, the Imagineers created their version and vision of agri-future. The official Disneyland definition, according to their website and their app, is the visionary landscaping doubles as a potential farm, protecting an ecologically astute future where humanity makes the most of its resources. So if you walk through Tomorrowland, all the plants in Tomorrowland are edible. As you walk through there, it's amazing. You'll see oranges and peppers and all sorts of herbs. It's absolutely fascinating.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really is cool. It kind of makes you want to, just kind of dine al fresco in Tomorrowland. So there you are. That's the top 10 tips for wandering Disneyland. Like I said, there's a trillion more out there. I also want to give a little shout out. If you're a huge Disney fan and want more Disney in your life, I've been a fan of the gang over at Mousetalgia. They deliver a fantastic weekly podcast on all things Disney. Dave, Becky, Jeff, and Kristen are a great team and will most definitely keep you entertained. So I really recommend giving them a try. Go to our show notes. I'll have a link to their podcast. They're a lot of fun to listen to.
Matt, these are some awesome, cool little insights for a true Disney aficionado. I love it. And I do think in the show notes, didn't we create something so people can really get clarity? As you were going through that, I had questions on where exactly are you talking? So tell everybody how they can actually get a map of the 10 you talked about today.
Yeah, just go to our show notes at WBNLpodcast.com. There is a post and show notes. There's a map on there that has all the pin droppings on Google of where all these places are located.
Great.
So easy to find.
Print that out and go next time you're going to Disney. Here's a couple out of the way cool things, and you'll be able to wow your friends that you take with Disney with this little insider information. Thanks for sharing that today, Matt. That's great stuff.